My name is Kyrstina Bahr, and I teach at the School of Social Work and Institute for Nonprofit Organizations. I grew up in a very small town in Lithuania. It's about 40 miles from the capital. It's called Molėtai. It has the name of a land of lakes because there are over 300 lakes in the region. I lived through being a pioneer to being a Komsomolet to seeing Lithuania gain independence to coming to the United States to experience a whole other setup. It was the last day, the day I graduated high school. My friend came up and she said, "You know what? Lithuania is gonna declare independence tomorrow." And all of us were like, "Are you serious? This can't be it." And sure enough, the next day, we're watching on the news Lithuania declaring independence. What transpired after that, it was heartbreaking. Tanks rolled over in Vilnius. They took over major government buildings. I got to experience that as I was getting ready to go off to college. After I got my undergraduate degree in sociology, I heard about this thing called social work, which I knew nothing about. And I read this one article written by a Canadian social worker about what social workers do. And I thought, well, this is definitely me. That was a few years after Lithuania gained independence. And there were so many nonprofits that were starting to operate. My first job was at one of those nonprofits. I had a lot of freedom to do what I wanted to do. And I wanted to figure out what makes a nonprofit innovative. And that's what I wanted to teach, and that's what I've been doing for almost 16 years. I have an 8-year-old son, and I have a 6-year-old daughter. My number one thing that I wanted to instill in my kids was passion for reading. I was very intentional about reading to my kids every night, and now my son is reading like at 4th grade level, and he's reading on his own, and my daughter, some days I'm like, do we really have to read a book? And we really have to read not just one book. It's always 2 or 3 books. We moved away since from princesses to something that has to do with nature and travel and history. I no longer have a say in what they pick. They just pick it. I've been in the same book club for 10 years, and we read very eclectic selection of books. Quite a few I would not choose on my own, but I have to read. I appreciate the diversity of the selection that we have. My number one favorite book is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, a Brazilian author. I strongly believe that the major saying in the book is that if you want something really bad, that the universe will conspire and help you achieve it. And that's one of the things that I always keep in mind if I want something really bad, that it can happen. What excites me the most about teaching online is getting all the students' involvement. Usually when it's an in-person classroom, I get 2 or 3 students who speak up all the time, and the rest of them, unless you have a crystal ball, you have no idea what they're thinking about. But with online class, everyone's involved. The way I structure it, everyone has to participate. For those students who are hesitant about taking an online class, literally I can say all of them came back saying how surprised they were, how much they've learned. Not that they didn't miss that in-person element, but they said it was not a major factor. One of the concerns that students have with online format is they worry that if they have a question or if there's a concern that they would somehow not get the attention or the feedback that they need. We have so many different options to connect with students online now. I've had Skype appointments even with my in-person class for years now. So whenever students can pretty much Skype in at their convenience, and if I answer, I answer. If I don't, I don't. Availability of an instructor who's teaching online is not an issue in this day and age. My definition of success is having a balanced life, being a balanced human being. I think that kind of definition would put a lot of people in non-successful, because a lot of people define success by what they achieve at work. Work is very important to me and I love what I do, but I trained myself to leave my office and to get myself in a different role as a wife and as a mother. I think having that balance is when I feel like I'm the most successful, I'm the happiest, and I'm the most relaxed.